Hello, and it's good to be with you again, isn't it, Ronnie?
Yes, it is. And in a tightly stuffed programme tonight, we go over to the House of Commons, where the series of thefts is still going on. We shall be talking to the Minister without portfolio, the Minister without cycle clips, and the Minister without trousers.
Then we offer our advice to the police in Battersea, who are searching for a tall man with a hearing aid. Why not use bloodhounds?
Then we discuss the crisis in Africa and ask the question, will General Amin cut off our coconuts?
And in our series, Hints on London Transport, Raquel Welch will be telling you where the 48 bus stops. Somewhere out here, I think.
But we would like to apologise for yesterday's announcement concerning a prisoner who escaped from a South African jail. We should have said he was a trusty prisoner who escaped in the Rand, not a randy prisoner who escaped in a truss.
And we've just been handed an urgent warning about Tomlinson's tinned treacle sponge, which has caused several people to be sent to hospital with badly scalded feet. It seems people have misunderstood the instructions, which read, before opening the tin, stand in boiling water for 20 minutes.
But on a happier note, here is the wonderful weather forecast for tomorrow. It's going to be 70 degrees everywhere. 20 in the morning, 30 at midday, and 20 in the evening.
And I've got another urgent message. Seems to be my night for urgent messages. Another urgent message. This time it's for 3 honeymoon couples in a hotel in Peebles. Breakfast was served 3 days ago.
And now a sketch that features Ronnie Corbett, who has been described as something between Edward Heath and Shirley Temple. And I bet you didn't even know there was something between Edward Heath and Shirley Temple.
Jolly attractive little place, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely diddums.
Lovely, I know. It's the only absolutely pure Goloshnik restaurant here in London.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes. Yes, I'll tell you why I stumbled across it. Last year I had about 4 weeks off. I thought, why not just bomb over the channel with the old Jensen, over the ditch, you know. Follow one's nose and avoid the usual boring old places. Samarkand and Tashkent and so. Right, well, I know. And I found myself in this rather groovy place called Goloshnia. And it's awfully nice because the people are so innocent. Leave this to me. Hello.
Goods.
Goods? Goods, goods. Jolly good. Now, what are we going to have? Now, I remember I had this now in a little bistro on the Blotz Mountains, and it was absolutely delicious.
Oh, well, yes, we'll try that then.
Then we'll have that, if we might, to start with.
Skirts.
And... well, that's one way of looking at it, I suppose. Oh, here we are. Now, I'll just ask about this. I can't really quite recall it. The ushbaloki.
No, ushbaloki. The ushbaloki. Pois is dat nou probeer de oes. Hij gewoon pakken de blokken. De oesterboest in de blokken pakken. Maar dan proeven de ushbaloki.
Remember now, thank you very much. He's awfully sweet, isn't he? Yes, it is, in fact, some oosh with a spot of bologna.
Yes. Well, yes, I'll have that then.
We'll have 2 oosh bolognas, if we might. No, well, 1 oosh bologna and an oosh bologna. Thank you.
Oosh bologna, 2. There. 2 oosh bologna, 2 oosh bologna. Oosh bologna. Are you following?
Yes, we will be following. For me, it's just got to be the Cramlock.
Cramlock, it's custom,
I say.
They always kiss the girls when you order Cramlock.
Cramlock again, Cramlock.
Oh, please.
Thank you.
I'll actually have the poof gear.
Poof gear.
No, I don't.
Go there. Go there. Who's belonging?
Wonderful.
Who's belonging? Took. That's. You eat?
Yes, I eat. Yes, I eat, indeed. But I have no implements. It's, delicious, isn't it? Ugh, yeah.
You like, eh?
Yes, I like. Yes, awfully. I would actually like to go to the gents.
Gents? Two gents?
No, I don't want to eat the gents. I want to go to the smallest room.
Smallest room. Top smallest room. Top smallest room.
Oh, now you've gone and ordered something called a smallest room.
Luckily, I didn't order the biggest room.
Biggest room, top biggest room. Top biggest room.
No.
I don't really think I want to eat here after all. Well, I mean, Diddums, it's so frightfully grotty, isn't it?
Frightfully grotty. You're too camp.
Two camp. Two camp.
No, not two camp, which is two camp, but not all that much. No, we want to eat...
Gertz.
No, not Gertz. No, we don't want Gertz. We want to eat elsewhere.
Elsewhere. Dub elsewhere.
I really can't stay here any longer. The smell is disgusting.
Disgustings? Disgustings? It's a lot of gustings.
Could we have the bill, please?
The bill. Took the bill.
Oh.
Up the bill.
Obviously changed ownership. Never like that before. There used to be a rather simple family. The father did all the cooking and the daughters waited on you. Seems to have gone all commercial now. I don't understand it. Oh, this is...
Suzuki.
Oh, this is beautiful. This is the local musical instrument here. Yes, please, thank you, por favor.
Suzuki. Suzuki.
Oh.
I thought you said you knew all about Goloshnia.
Well, these people, my dear, obviously don't come from the same part. I was north of the Yob during my stay. These people, obviously, come from south of the Yob.
What do you mean?
The southern Yobs, that's what I mean. Now, what is all this?
Top gents. Top smallest room. Here. Top biggest room. Top camp. Top gents. Disgusting.
For the bill.
Tabil. Speciality. Tabil.
I'm not staying here any longer.
Well, obviously, my dear, they don't speak a word of English. Let's just slip out without paying.
You slip out without paying?
Or alternatively, with paying.
£17.50.
£17.50? It's disgusting. Absolutely monstrous.
They're monstrous here. It's £18.50.
No.
With the VAT, too.
There we are. Would you mind just... Well, you won't mind. Keep the change if you will.
Take it from
her. I had a wonderful idea. Why don't we go to that rather charming little canooglik restaurant in South Ken?
Oh, look, why don't we just go to the Chinese restaurant across the road?
Chinese? I wouldn't go into one of these places, my dear. You never know what you're eating. Now, come this way.
Harry, he should have been here about 10... It's okay, he's here. Oh, God, Ken, hurry up. Where have you been?
The car wouldn't start. Are we on?
No, there's a breakdown in transmission.
Oh, thank God for that. What's happened?
Look, will you talk to Harry, quick?
What's all the panic about? The football match is recorded, isn't it?
Yes, but you're not, are you? You've got to do the commentary live, haven't
Well,
you?
I've done the commentary live before. What's all the fuss?
Look, will you just talk to Harry? You're wasting time.
All right. What's the matter, Harry?
Listen, Ken, we're absolutely up the creek. I've dropped a whole shelf of film and George ran over them with a trolley. I'm in a terrible state up here.
You dropped the lot? What, you mean including the football match?
Including the football match, yes.
Oh, my God.
You'll just have to start the commentary and I'll try and patch the film together as we go, you know. Come on, quickly, you're 2 minutes late now.
All right, then. Well, run it. Go on, then, run it. Oh, dear.
And after that slight delay, it's good evening from White Hart Lane for the Intercup match between Tottenham Hotspur and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Ball's already in play just outside the halfway line. Spurs in possession there. Naylor puts a long one out to Chivers on the left. He's going it on his own now. He's got a chance here. He's going to one defender, and he's going to shoot, and he shoots, and it's and it's fielded quite easily by Westbury on the boundary. And here we come. Here comes Lilly, just coming up to bowl now. That long, easy stride, and he bowls. It's a good length ball. Oh, and it's on the green. And Gary Player may easily pick up a birdie 3 here. Now it's Jacklin to putt. Now he's taking his time here. It's a longish one now. And, oh, it looks very good, yes. It's a very long ball, as you can see, but it looks good. It looks good. It looks very good. Oh, yes, and it's in! It's in! Norton made a tremendous leap for the ball, but it just slipped past the crossbar, and the crowds are going mad. The toilet rolls are hurtling down now, and the crowd is absolutely silent as the British girl, Dawn Ritter, prepares to execute this very tricky backward 2.5 somersault into the pool, and here she goes now. Oh, and the legs around the neck. It's a beautiful cross buttock. Oh, now it's a forearm smash. And they're loving this. The crowd are loving this. They really are. And he's going for him again. He's picking him up here. And here comes a terrible right arm. That dreadful, that wonderful left arm, just a waving acknowledgement to this vast crowd attending the conference. And he's flat on his back. Oh, he's flat on his back. And he's arguing now. He's arguing Mr. Wilson. The leader of the opposition, who is still in the fight, and both men are really going for each other now. They're really punishing each other. He's got him on the ropes. He's going to throw him. Oh, and he's landed very heavily there. And his ball is now over the centre pocket. It's a dangerous position here. You can see the concentration there on his face as he goes for the red, and the cue ball is travelling up the table now, where Billie Jean King serves it. It's 2 games all, second set, having won the first set 6-3. A wonderful, wonderful little woman, this Mrs. King. Mrs. King, formerly known, of course, as the Queen. Here we see her wearing those frilly lace panties we've all become so familiar with. And they're off! Oh, and Palmer Boy has gone into the lead, but number 9, Jenkins, following behind them, Jackson the third. Yellow Sands is there and coming fast on the inside is number 14. No, it's number 17. Jack and Doris Watts. Doris is dressed as a brilliant cerise with silver lamy on the bodice. Always a joy to watch. Just going by at the back there is Myra Higgs. Myra was trained by the great Peggy Spencer and ridden by Lester Bigg. Well, I'm afraid it's time to leave now the White City this afternoon, and it looks as if Oxford will just manage to pip Cambridge, and Billie Jean King will go forward to meet the Hooded Strangler in the flyweight contest on Saturday. So this is Harold Wilson saying ta-ta and keep your nose clean. Good night.
for me, sir. Your tea. Is it your tea you wanted?
No, not the tea today, Linnet, no. Something quite different I want to talk to you about.
Yes?
Now, listen to me. Linnet, you have been serving the tea here for years and years and years and years, haven't you?
Yes.
Now, I am head of the Secret Service.
I know that, sir.
Who you know?
Yes, well, it's on your front door here.
Ah. Mum's the word, say nothing. Now, I want you to do me a bit of a favour.
What's that, sir?
I want you to burn down the Kremlin for me.
In Moscow, sir?
Unless you know of one nearer, yes.
Haven't you any spies, sir?
Spies? Well, how can I answer that? No, that's how I can answer that. No, we have no spies. We used to have some spies, but they all seem a tiny bit dead. So of the one man available, I have chosen you. Yes? Now, I'm going to put you through a very intensive course of training because I want you to leave for Moscow very, very shortly, in about 6 minutes. Now, then, what do we need for setting fire to a Kremlin, would you say? Well, we need paraffin, you see, and we need some matches, don't we? Now, matches. Oh, damn, Muriel's take my matches again. Well, I suppose you can buy some matches, can't you?
I've got some matches.
You've got some? Oh, well done. Good show. I've chosen the right chap. What? A chap with matches. Right. Goodbye, and have a good trip.
Goodbye. Sorry. How do I get to that?
He's got his wits about him. I entirely forgot. I'm awfully sorry. What we're going to do is to drop you out of an aeroplane into Moscow. You see? Now, Moscow is on the sea, so...
No, it isn't.
Moscow, it isn't on the sea?
No.
Oh, it isn't on the sea. Oh, dear. Well, we better have a look at a map, then. Come over here. Come on, Linnet, you're in this. Come on, over here. That's the idea. It's a two-shot here. That's right. Now, see that? Now, I'm sorry about this map being so old, but anyway, we start all... You see, now we leave Londinium there, and we fly across Gaul, just to the north of the Holy Roman Empire. You see, we drop you in it, you see. We drop you in St. Petersburg, which, of course, we now call Moscow. You see, now it is on the sea. Do you see that?
No, that's Leningrad.
Now, don't bring politics into this, Linnet. You clear off, and off you go, and the best of luck, and none of your lip. Right?
Oh, sir, my passport.
Passport, yes, that's in the file. Passport would be in the file. File. F for file. F. No, nothing in F, no.
No, P. Look under P.
P, what for?
P for passport.
P for passport. Good thinking. There's a rabbit in here. What's that doing? That shouldn't be under P. No, that's not... Wait a minute, here we are. Passport, look at that. Over here with the passport. That's it. Now, the passport, name upon it, Dmitri Stepanopoulos.
That's a Greek passport.
Oh, God, so it is. Yes, that's no good, is it? Russian passport. There we are. I say the picture isn't very like you, is it? It's not awfully like you, that, is it? No. Just a minute. It's, yes, that's better. Yeah. There you are. Oh, yes, that's much more like it. Screw your face up a bit, that's it. Can you see through those pince-nez all right? That's the idea, right. Now, the next is unarmed combat, all right? Unarmed combat. Miss Laverne, please, unarmed combat, would you? Ha-ha! Ah! There you are, Miss Laverne. Unarmed combat, dear, would you?
Here, here's a knife. Come on, right at me. Come on. Ho, ho, ho. Yes, let's have you. Right through the heart. Go on. Oh!
How was that, sir?
Absolutely marvellous. He seems completely dead to me. Right. Now, next, you will need some equipment. Equipment, now. What is that? Do you know what that is?
Yes, that's a watch.
Good. Do you know how to use it?
Yes.
You do, right? Do you know what that is?
That's the watch again.
Very good. Now, I'm going to give you this watch. What do you say?
Thank you.
That's it. Here is a pen that writes under curry. Here's a plate of curry to write under. You better take that as well.
What's that for, sir?
Luck. Oh, by the way, you better take a paraffino. Don't forget that.
Oh, by the way, what happens if I get killed?
Oh, don't worry. Mrs. Simpkins can make the tea. Thank you.
Our guest for this evening, Clodagh Rogers.
I used to think that when you fell in love, love would never change. but it's different now. And to those who've never been in love, this may seem very strange, but it's so different now. I used to wonder if the feeling that we had would last, never fade away, but it's different now. It changes every day. I used to look at you and tell myself how wonderful you are, but you're so different now. For to me you're much more wonderful by far. Yes, you're so different now. There's more to love than holding hands and stealing kisses. When you think that there is no one else around, there's the good times and the bad. There's the ups and the downs we've had, but it's different now, and I'm so glad I still have you. For I know you so well, I believe I can tell what you're thinking before you think it yourself, and I'm happy to say you feel the same about me. It's a look in the eye, a smile on the face, a tear that you cry, a hair out of place. You as you are, and not what you should be. There's always something new to see. I look at you, you look at me, and we're so different now. Love gets better every day, and in some peculiar way, it's always different now. And if we ever said goodbye, you'd be lost and discovered. That's the difference now between a love just for a day and a love that's here to stay. That's the difference now. The difference now. For I know you so well, I believe I can tell what you're thinking before you think it yourself. I'm happy to say you feel the same about me. It's a look in the eye, a smile on the face, a tear that you cry, a hair out of place. You as you are, and not what you should be. For I know you so well, I believe I can tell what you're thinking before you think it yourself. I'm happy to say you feel the same about me. Difference now. The difference now.
Thank you, Clodagh. Now, you'd never believe it, to look at that lovely young lady, that she is actually one of the survivors from the Duke of Clarence Darts Club annual outing. Now, apparently, they went to on one of those ridiculous cheap cruises, you know, the sort of thing, bring sandwiches to Bermuda, or row with us to the Greek islands, round the world and back for a £5. And believe you me, you have to be very careful with these cheap cruises. There was a case recently of a chap who signed up for a cruise on the Queen Mary, and they put him in the Annex, which was 6 weeks on a dredger off Lowestoft. Now, you may find that hard to believe, but as my old grandmother always used to say, stranger things happen at sea. That's what she always said. Stranger things happen at sea. As a matter of fact, she never said anything else. We took her to the doctor about it, and he said, I think her needle's stuck. And he gave her a whack with an ashtray, which had no effect at all, except that she gave up smoking. And actually, that little anecdote has a rather interesting sequel, which is just as well, really. Because on its own, it's hardly worth telling. And the sequel is that years later, my Uncle Spyro was lost at sea under very unusual circumstances. He went up the mast to look for land, and when he came down, the ship had gone. Now, I expect quite a number of you are surprised to notice that I have this remarkable familiarity with such seafaring expressions as mast, and ship, and wave, and ducky. But as anyone will know who has been following the sensational serialization of my life story in the Tristan da Cunha Express, I did actually start in show business as a ship's entertainer on one of the first economy cruise ships. And when you talk about economy cruises, believe me, you couldn't get any cheaper than the old Shepherd's Bush Castle. Just think of it. London, Tilbury, Gravesend, and 3 days in Tibet for a book of Green Shield stamps. Now, most comedians, which is what I am, I say that in case there are any foreign visitors looking in, and they might think I'm a glove puppet. Now, most comedians, when they talk about cheap cruises, say ridiculous things like, we went in for the ship's raffle and we won a seat in a lifeboat. But I can't say that. I can't say that because, well, apart from the fact that I can't say it, we never had any lifeboats. No, it's true. I mean, in rough weather, you couldn't book a seat on a piece of driftwood. And in cases of emergency, we all used to assemble on deck and sing Abide With Me. And those in peril on the deep. While the captain, you could tell he was a real old sea dog, used to put his leg up anywhere. He used to tell jokes through the loud hailer. And if I may be confidential for a moment, that's what I like about this show, really. You can say anything here in the studio, knowing it won't go any further. Good God, success isn't everything, is it? Where was I? Oh, yes. He did confide in me, the captain was, that it was actually his ship, not an iceberg, that sank the Titanic. But he never said anything at the time because he didn't want to lose his no-claims bonus. By the way, an interesting thing happened on the cruise. In the evening, to while away the time, we all used to play parlour games. Incidentally, by the way, if any of you have heard this story, you know, before, and you'd like to join in while I tell it, by all means, that'll be wonderful. We'll call it Joke Along Ron. In the evening, to while away the time, we all used to play parlour games. We all used to write out a subject on a little bit of paper, you see, put the paper in the hat, pass the hat round, and we each picked out a subject, and we had to talk about it, you see, for 5 minutes, and the best speech won. Now, on this cruise, there was a little fellow, a little henpecked soul of a man, horn-rimmed spectacles, bowler hat, a bit like me, really, a bit of a flower grader. This particular night, his wife was a little bit tired, so she went to bed early and allowed him to stay down and play the game. You see, well, the hat was passed round, he puts his hand in, picks out his subject, and he's got to talk for 5 minutes on the subject of sex and the birds and the bees. Does a wonderful job of the speech, wins the prize, and after the game's over, goes back to the cabin. You see, and his wife's in there, still awake, reading Woman's Own. She's got her curlers in and her teeth out.
She said, how did you get on? He said, fine, fine. She said, what did you speak about? He said, pardon? She said, you heard me the first time. What did you speak about? He said, I spoke about yachting and sailing. Yachting and sailing? She said, yes. He said, yachting and sailing. Closed his eyes and went to sleep. You see, well, the next day, his wife was walking along the deck, and she bumps into one of the other passengers, a friend of hers. She said, oh, his friend said, you missed yourself last night. You should have come to the game. What a game we had, she said. What a speech your husband made, she said. By Jove, he certainly seems to know his subject. The wife said, well, I can't think why. He's only done it twice. She said the first time he was sick and the second time his hat blew off.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Short and Fat Minstrel Show! Singing this song, just bring a big pal, a fat gal. If she's fat and heavy, get down on the level.
Will you let those little girls through? And if they're very small, we'll take two.
We're short and fat,
but and don't stop us singing all the songs we're bringing to you.
way down upon the Swanee River, I met Kate McGuire. 2 onions and a pound of liver, that's how she won my desire. She knew just how to cook my dinner. Oh, hush my mouth. No chance of ever getting thinner down in the deep fried South. All the steaks were rich and fatty, all the beans were tinned. That's why my heart is burning ever. That's why I'm gone with the wind.
I looked across the water, and what did I see? Standing on the seafront at Frome, a girl with a bust that measured 53, looked like St. Peter's in Rome. Her name was Harriet, a stripper at the Hippodrome. Swing low, sweet Harriet, took 4 men to carry her
A gal whose date had let her down, she got so tired of waiting around. She said, if I ain't in bed by 10, I'm a-going back home again. Give me that corn and I don't care. Give me that corn and I don't care. It ain't no worse than you hear elsewhere. That's about all we can say.
A man in a bank saw a lady stop and tuck some cash in her stocking top. He said, my, what a large amount. I'd like to open a joint account. Give me that corn and I don't care. Give me that corn and I don't care. It ain't no worse than you hear elsewhere. That's about all you can say.
Oh, Mr. Corbett.
Yes, Mr. Barker.
Have you heard that there's a rumor going round? You've not had a pint of beer since that dreadful day last year when you fell into your glass and nearly drowned.
Oh, Mr. Barker.
Oh, Mr. Corbett.
I'll admit I'm not exactly 6'3".
Pretty good to me.
But I'm better known than you. I'll be in the next Who's Who.
As an actor, Mr. Corbett?
As a bookmark, Mr. B.
Raquel Welch, I love your left doodah, doodah. I sit and think of Raquel's left doodah all the day. Is it bigger than the right? It's very hard to say, but that's the one that'll get my vote on National Doodah Day.
Who's horrible, deplorable? That's Annabelle Lee. Unbettable, drop-deadable? That's Annabelle Lee. Does she look like a film star? Oh, yes, sirree. When she goes out, the people shout, that's Christopher Lee. I dream of Jeannie with the bright pink hair. She's had it dyed to match her underwear. I dream of Mary with a big red nose. Wonder if she wears red flannel underclothes. Of purple ones, those pretty ones of heathers. Then I dream of Polly, who covers hers with feathers. I dream of Daisy May, who works at the vicar's. Daisy drives me crazy without any trouble.
Oh, I'm in love with Abigail, and her shape is most unusual. She's put the whole lot up for sale, and I've got first refusal.
Oh, my sister Ann met a Yankee man at the Salvation Army one day. She put down a tambourine and she went off to Kensal Green for a bit of Yankee Doodle in the hay. Fare thee well to the Salvation Army, hear her say, 'cause my little sister Anna won't be carrying the banner, 'cause she finds the trees in everybody's way.
Now, my little sister Polly, she is really very jolly. She went out and bought a dog the other day. It's a poodle that is woolly, and she pulls it on a pulley, singing Polly Woolly Poodle all the day. People pop into the parlor to see Polly Woolly Poodle with a bowl of chicken noodle on a tray, saying, Polly dear, this foodle, please, your pretty little poodle. She was popular with people right away. Sad to say, came the day Polly's reputation fell completely flat. When the parson and his daughter sang the parting of the waters, Polly's poodle did a puddle on the mat. Ronnie, how I envy, dear little Ronnie. I'd give the world to be just like young R.C. 6 stone 4 and 5'3", but Mammy's waiting for me, cooking for me, spuds and spaghetti. You'll find the jokes ain't funny no more when you're stuck in the pantry door.
Ronnie, how I envy, dear big fat Ronnie. If only I had grown, I'd be so full blown. 18 stone of skin and bone and fat, that keeps you cozy, warm and rosy. When nights are chilly, I'd be a great big crowd of my own. If only I was 18 stone.
Swanee, how I love you, my dear old Swanee.
that's all we have time for in this series. We'd like to thank all those people who we couldn't quite fit into the show, like the out-of-work contortionist in Retford, who says he can no longer make ends meet.
Yes, and we had hoped to interview a famous Scottish millionaire who keeps all his money under his mattress, but this morning he was badly injured when he fell 80 feet from his bed to the floor.
And we haven't even got time to talk to the famous heiress who ran away with the milkman, was gone 3 months, and came back 3 months gone.
But here's the late news. A man was charged at Bow Street today with eccentric behaviour in certain London streets. He went to Pudding Lane and made a pudding for himself. He went to Gooseberry Lane and made a fool of himself. Then he went to Exhibition Road and got himself arrested.
And in the divorce court today, a man claimed that his wife's mother kept on shouting at him that he was driving too fast along the M1. And to make matters worse, she swore at him while he was untying her from the roof rack.
So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.